Paul, if I came to you with some maybe crazy ideas after I've been traveling for a while and I've seen different styles of architecture in different countries and different cities that I like, is that something that you can work with here?
I think mostly, but what I'd like to do is get down to the essence of why you like that, and is it appropriate for Perth? Because we're building in Perth with a specific climate and not every, and materials that we build with in Perth. So a really good example is some clients that came to me. They've done a lot of travel through North Africa, Morocco and Turkey, and they came with these wonderful photos from their travel saying, we want a Moroccan house. And I thought, we can't just drop a Moroccan house into one of the inner suburbs of Perth. So we went through this process of what is it about Moroccan houses that you really like? And we got down to, well, we like the filtered light and the courtyards and that materiality that you use in North Africa and Morocco. And so and I thought that can work in Perth because our climate's similar. Some of the materials we use are similar, and I really like that idea. So it was something at first I was a little skeptical, but I really got on board with that idea. And then we worked together about the normal planning that you have to go through. But so this is a model of the project, but you can see there was a series of little courtyards, a roof terrace, some screens with filtered light. There's a photo of it here. We made up these particular they're laser cut screens to filter the light. We used limestone. We used cut limestone, very thick walls, so you had punched openings. And then even the little bricks that we selected were sort of almost like a mud brick that you'd have in North Africa. But the planning was simple, like you'd have in those areas. The floor finish was the same throughout. So the material selection was very, very limited but also appropriate. There was stone that you would use there, and the type of tiles that you might use in North Africa and Morocco. So it's a matter of working together with the client, but getting down to the essence of what they liked about the Moroccan style of house.
What's interesting to me is that one of the aspects was the filtered light that they were after.
Yes.
So you mentioned the laser cut screens there, which have a bit of a Moroccan look about them.
Yeah.
Are there any other aspects about the house with the filtered, specifically with the filtered light or
the courtyards? So again, it wasn't a big block. It was in an inner city suburb, so not a big block. So we did it as a series of very simple forms and courtyards, and then also a roof garden, which is unusual in Perth to sort of go up these stairs on the side, and then to this lovely roof garden, which had tall walls.
So that's up here, is it?
Up here on that side. And it had tall walls on the roof garden, so you didn't overlook neighbours, but all you saw were trees and clouds and the sky. So it was very private for everybody, very private for the neighbours, private for the owners. Inside also we had this vaulted roof, which you often get in those North African places. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it's not a house you might see in Morocco. It'd be quite contemporary, but it answered the brief. It answered all those things. Even you can see we cast in some glass block into one of the walls, so you've got these shafts of light that you often get. So the light is bright in North Africa around the Mediterranean as it is in Perth. So you have to be aware of that light and filter it.
And so did that have any impact on the windows or the glazing that you selected for this project? In that regard, it was probably not a lot different than you would normally do. We had some smaller openings and some, just some normal doors rather than big sliding openings. They were more, I would call, punched openings than big, sliding windows, sliding doors, that kind of thing. What about the walls? So you mentioned before that the client wanted the thick walls. Yeah. So how did you build that, or how did you design that into this project?
They're a cavity wall still, but they're 500 thick. So the door actually opens in the wall. So it gives you their limestone, their cut limestone, which is an indigenous material to Perth. Mm-hmm. But it just gives that I don't know. There's a kind of a thicker wall. It's more of a cave-like feel to the house.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of mass. Yeah. And that mass works kind of thermally as well with our passive solar design.
Well, can I ask, what year was this house built?
This is probably 10 years old now.
Okay, it's about 10 years old, and have you been back there? Have you caught up with the clients? And
yeah, they're still there. They still love it. We worked with. They had a wonderful eclectic furniture collection that we worked with. So we had to work, that was another part of the brief. We had to work with their existing furniture. So our house is great. They love it, and they're still there.
What about from internal climate perspective? You mentioned passive house before. So how does the house perform thermally?
Oh, look, because way we've orientated the way we provided the right shading, it works, and that thermal mass with the thick walls, it works really, really well.
So not much heating required in winter and not much cooling required in summer, is it?
No, exactly. I mean, we get days in Perth where if it's 42 degrees for a week, there's not a lot you can do. But it actually, all that considered, it works very well.
I guess that fits into the Moroccan brief too, because that's how they build over there to manage the internal climate, isn't it?
Live in those sheltered courtyards and on the roof garden.